1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show. It's hosted by Cuz.
Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins and Trevor.
With a huge trunk of rifles, guns, ammunition and so on, went to the University of Austin, the tower. He went up in the lift to the top floor. Eventually he exited onto the roof. But before he did, he shot dead the receptionist. And then there were other tourists sort of coming out into where he was. He shot them. Didn't all die. Some of them did, including a pregnant lady. He went to the roof and he was taking pot shots at people below. Well, of course, after pretty quick police action, he was shot dead. But he left the suicide note. And I'd just like to read you that suicide note. But before I do, I tell you that 13 people were shot dead, he killed, and 33 were badly wounded. Let me ask you, before I tell you what his suicide note, because he knew he'd be shot dead, it was death by cop, I suppose. What sentence would you give to him? I'll ask you first, Cuz. For what he did, what would your appropriate sentence be for him?
Well, it would be 13 accounts of first-degree murder, and however many accounts of attempted murder, I suppose. I may even put that on trial by insanity, but then that depends on the disclosure of the suicide note.
Yeah,
that would be my...
So what would you say? Okay, there's the suicide note, but purely on the basis of all those murders and it clearly gone crazy, what would you give him, the death penalty if you believe in the death penalty, or would you say life in prison with no parole?
Do you know what? I suppose it depends, and I suppose this is a point that we're going to get to. I suppose it depends on his level of remorse. Now, for somebody who doesn't have remorse, then yeah, absolutely, death penalty. For somebody who has remorse, I think it's much more of a punishment to make them live with that remorse rather than just to execute them. So, yeah, I'd suppose it'd depend on how they portray themselves within the court setting as to whether I'd give them the death penalty or not. But certainly 13 accounts of murder would never be getting out of prison.
Yeah, no. Okay. What about you, Cuz?
Well, I'd base it on things that we've seen. So, for instance, somebody's tried to commit suicide and it's been stopped. They don't then go ahead to try to commit suicide again. Well, some of them don't. Most of them don't. Some of them do come to appreciate life afterwards. They think, you know what, I had a lucky escape there. You know, I don't know what went wrong. You know, I hit rock bottom, and you know, I just thought, end it all. And that's why I got there. Right. So I would approach it from that perspective. I would, well, provided he's not being shot dead, because he might be trying to shoot at the police, and the police would definitely, you know, shoot back. It's the rule. So, for instance, if he was captured, if that were the case, I would, if I was the judge, I would recommend that it be put in an institution where he can get the. We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.
into our show. It's hosted by Cuz. The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything Cuz does.